Well, before we get started, points of order, Meg. You're still interested in D&D, right? You're still wanting to play?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm still trying to find two other players. I haven't had a chance to talk to Shannon and Andrew yet. I think Andrew just finally accepted my friend request on Facebook, so I'll send him a message and see if they are wanting to play. I want to get at least four people. Excuse me. Sorry. I want to get at least four people, so if my friend does flake out, the party has at least three people.
Cool. Sounds good.
So I'm still working toward it. So as long as you're still down to play, I'm heading that way.
I am down to clown.
Dork. It's D&D. Have you ever heard of and now of course I'm asking you, have you ever heard of that comedian that I can't remember his name? Steven something. He's a singing comedian.
Yes.
His guitar.
I have a station on Pandora that's it started off as a station with Stephen Lynch is his name, I think. No, not Stephen Lynch. Stephen, fuck, I can't remember it either. It started off of Tenacious D, and it just ends up with him and other random stand-up bits like Tosh and other like comedians like that. But I know the song you're talking about. It's D&D.
Yeah.
He has a couple of different D&D songs that are pretty funny.
No, you're right. It's Stephen Lynch.
Oh, it is Stephen Lynch? Okay.
Yeah. I just remember that they were saying about like grabbing the Funyuns and the Mountain Dew. It's D&D.
He hasn't put out an album in a while. I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, my friend John, I think if I remember right, introduced me to him. And my friend John, like he was all into just finding a bunch of stand-up comedians like back in the day, and we just had like constantly we had burned CDRs playing in the car as we were driving around town, and it was like Stephen Lynch and Dane Cook when he first hit big, and freaking
holy shit, apparently he just put out a new comedy album.
Oh really?
Yeah. Sometime late last year.
Okay. David Cross, that was another one that we had constantly on rotation.
Good stuff.
I still do occasionally, I mean I haven't done it in a while, but for years I would do his he had a bit, it was like literally like 30 seconds long, and it was his impersonation of what if it's his fucking name from the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins lost his car keys.
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan, yeah. And it's just this little soft guitar. Where the fuck are my car keys? I had them right there in my hand. I had them just a second ago.
Jesus.
And he just finds them like he's like, oh, here they are.
I every once in a while bust into my name is Satan.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to find that album again now. I want to go through the whole line.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, should we do this thing?
Sure. Let's go.
I guess.
Well, let me preface that I guess with a conversation I had probably like a half hour ago.
Okay.
With my mom. So I think I've told you this before. My sister is anti-vax.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah, my sister is anti-vax, so is her husband. Therefore, her kids are not getting vaccinated. They're all like mid-teens to late teens now.
Mm-hmm.
My mom just went down to visit them. They took a trip to Vegas. Well, because one of the kids has a baseball tournament there. So the reason why my mom went down is to babysit the youngest who wasn't going to go. And so she stayed there with the youngest for a couple of days. They come back. They all got COVID.
Oh my God.
All of them.
Including your mom?
Including my mom. My mom is double vaxxed with the booster.
Oh, that's good.
I think she has the booster. I'm pretty sure she has the booster. She's not terribly sick. She had a cough. She had some chest congestion for a couple of days.
Mhm.
But my sister apparently has been in and out of the doctor's office. She hasn't been put into the ER on oxygen or anything yet, as far as I know, but
Mhm.
she's been in and out of the doctor's office multiple times over the last couple of weeks. So
Jeez.
Yeah, that's scary.
Has she changed her tune yet?
no, they're still not getting the vax.
Ugh.
Oh, we've had it now, so we don't need the vax.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ivy.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. That's the state of mind I'm in right now, just to put you aware.
Okay, well, we'll try to lighten the mood here. Sing more Stephen Lynch songs or something. Whatever. You can't control what other people are gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to do. Welcome to the Getting Off Topic podcast, everybody. We can cut that section out if you want.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, didn't we say we were going to cheer up the place?
Yeah, and by cheering up the place, did you guys get a tsunami warning yesterday?
Oh yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. Actually, I was working, and so they sent out an email like, "Hey, warning, just FYI, like in case we had to, send techs in that area, the coastal regions." But yeah, I guess a volcano went off somewhere. I forget where.
The Tonga Islands, and it's in the South Pacific to the east of New Zealand, like in the very the remote tiny little islands in the middle of the South Pacific where you might go on a vacation, or it might just be ones where people live and nobody actually vacations there. Tonga is mostly a residential, not residential, but rural non-vacation destination type
Yeah,
place.
it's native people there. It's not a resort island.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was the largest volcanic eruption in 100 or 200 years, something like that.
Of that region or of the world?
Well, of that region, and it's in the top 5 or 6. I think only Mount St. Helens was stronger,
Oh wow.
and I think the Iceland volcano a couple of years ago might be in the same range. But did you see the satellite videos or anything from that?
Nah, I didn't look anything up.
Oh, it's nuts. It's it's actually the first major volcano that has been captured live on a satellite feed,
Mhm.
and you see just this enormous cloud the size of fucking France. They actually superimposed the cloud against France,
Oh my
and it
God.
literally covers almost the entirety of fucking France. Just this giant cloud, and then the concussion blast, the shockwave that it
Mhm.
sends out across the world. It was so loud that it was heard in New Zealand and Australia, which is 2,500 kilometers away, which is nuts.
Yeah.
And then also, because of the way it echoed off the atmosphere, people in Alaska fucking heard it. And that's literally halfway across the globe.
Jeez.
This is like the world is like a greasy faced 16-year-old and just popped the gnarliest whitehead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boom. Jesus.
Pretty fucking much.
Wait, so if you're watching all these satellite videos and everything, this is basically you getting your fix of disaster movie porn,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. I am absolutely fascinated with volcanoes and that kind of stuff. That's if I had actually gone to college, it would have been
Geologist
or meteorologist or something along these lines.
It's because Todd wants to be a weather girl.
Yes, I do.
Who gets rescued by James Bond and Dante's Peak.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, yeah, Pierce Brosnan comes along, says we got to go. You go. That's what you do.
Exactly. I'm not going to say no to Pierce. Come on.
Oh man. Well, was it last year or the year before? I forget. They all blur together in the era of COVID. But when did we get the ocean on fire? The little the little hellmouth that erupted.
Oh, I believe that was last year.
Was that last year? I forget.
Yeah, the oil spill that erupted in flames and just wouldn't be put out.
All right. Yeah. All right. Fun stuff. So we've got volcanoes erupting to an insane degree. We've got COVID still, of course, running rampant.
And there were actually tsunamis. Like there were legit tsunamis. Like the islands around it got hit pretty hard with tsunamis. And California, we had a few different places like Santa Cruz, like nothing major, but Santa Cruz, like some of the low-lying beaches and the harbors flooded like up to a foot or two of water inland.
I have some family that lives in Crescent City, California. Like they live right on the water. And I checked in and she said that, yeah, there was a lot of, their house is fine. Everything is good.
They got a little damp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crescent City is one of the unique ones. Crescent City is very susceptible to any sort of tsunami waves coming from the South Pacific or Japan area particularly. Crescent City is like, I think they're one of the most hit cities in the world of tsunamis. Like they in the past they've been hit multiple times by even small earthquakes can generate. It's just the way the topography of the bay that they sit on kind of like funnels it into them.
So when deep impact happens, they're like right on the bullseye.
Oh no, we're all fucked if deep impact happens. Like they're in the bullseye if just like a large earthquake happens.
Okay, I only saw like the end of that movie once on like TBS in the middle of the day. But if I recall, Elijah Wood, Frodo, jumps on a little dinky motorcycle
Scooter.
and just heads for the hills, and he's fine. Like he just kind of scooters his way up into the woods, into like a foothill of a mountain, if you will. And
him and Lily Sobieski are in the like the west or the eastern mountain ranges, the Appalachians. So they're like already I mean, the Appalachians are not huge, but they're up into the mountains. So,
so they're just
like,
they're high
like,
enough away.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. All right. Well, shit. In other lighthearted 2022 news, we had Betty White leave us at the last second. And we were wondering who's going to be next. And man, they're dropping like flies. Sidney Poitier, legend, which, I mean, the guy, he was suffering from being 94 years old. So that was, you know, that's not a big shock to the world. A loss to the world, but, you know, not a big shock. But then this past week, speaking of comedians, Bob Saget, man.
That was unexpected.
Yeah.
65 years old. That is way too soon.
I can't believe he was 65. I thought he was younger than that.
He's been around for a while, but I mean, he's still lively as hell, you know, still doing his thing.
And he looks unchanged. He had one of those demon packs where he got to the point where he looked the way he looks and then didn't change for like 30 fucking years.
Yeah. He filled out with a little older gentleman weight, but other than that, like, you know, still full head of hair and, you know, just looked like he could be back hosting America's Funniest Home Videos tomorrow. Which, by the way, I did see somebody post that. There was a tweet floating around of like, kids now will never understand that our version of YouTube was waiting for this man to show us what was funny on a Sunday night for 30 minutes.
And cracking some really bad puns to go with it.
He always did that dumb little, look at me,
He-
boys.
He was the inventor of dad jokes.
What was funny is that we grew up knowing him from that and from Full House. And it was only like once I got into my teens and later I learned that, oh wow, he is like a super blue comedian. Like just like all the insane stuff he did in his stand-up, with the X-rated shit that he couldn't say on Full House.
Like he intentionally goes as hard as possible because he's created this public persona of the everybody's father, everybody's uncle, just the nicest guy. And then he leverages that to say the most vile shit he can come up with. And it's just an amazing like dichotomy. It's just fucking brilliant.
I always
like
remember.
one of the
Oh, go ahead.
one of the first tributes that came out was just the video of him doing the aristocrats joke.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
And it's every time I come across it, I die laughing.
Yeah.
It is the funniest shit.
Well, it's they came to him, just like they did with all the comedians when they did that little documentary about the aristocrats joke. And gave him the prompt like, hey, we're doing this documentary, like let's hear your version of it, we'll film it. And the whole time he's just sitting there, and as he goes further and further and more down the rabbit hole of depravity, he's just sitting there like shaking his head at himself as he just keeps going on. It's like, God. But he keeps going. Yes. Because that's the point. Yeah. But that reputation aside, I saw an incredible outpouring from the whole stand-up community, the entertainment community in general, but stand-up specifically, because he is well known as like one of the kindest people in the business. Like he took younger comics under his wing. There's no like, no like ego of like, these younger comics are taking my time or anything. Like he was apparently like so incredibly welcoming, and there was so many younger comics that are working today who had a story about like Bob Saget, like he could be like my best friend, like he helped me get start my sets here and so on and so forth. So, but just all around like a great dude, and like I have yet to hear any unkind words spoken about him, so that's rad.
And apparently there's a lot of stories coming out about how he protected and sheltered like the Olsen twins from a lot of the Hollywood bullshit. And then when they were starting to have their troubles later on in life, in their like late teens, early 20s, like he was always there for them because he had addiction issues in the past. And so he was able to help them with their addiction issues and all that kinds of stuff. So just a really great dude in general.
Yeah. But yeah, of course. I mean, he's been around since, well, I think he started in the 80s, like
early 80s.
And I don't think you were allowed to be a stand-up comedian without some sort of drug habit. Like they don't even let you in the door.
Like you go to the Comedy Store and they say, okay, you're on in 30, here's your complimentary bag of Coke.
Pretty much. Oh shit. Anyway, should probably move on to some nerd shit. I do have a bit of headlines. Well, first off, Todd, what have you been doing the last 2 weeks? What are you watching? What are you playing? What's going on?
Well, watching, I have caught up on the Eternals. I've been watching Boba Fett.
Yes.
Been getting through Witcher.
Witcher. We finished season 2.
Nice. Been just mainlining Critical Role. As many hours as I can put in. God, there's a fuck ton of it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably going to take a while to convince me to go down that rabbit hole. Like it took 10, 15 years for me to finally binge all of Supernatural, all 15 years of it. So the amount of Critical Role out there, it might take me some time.
Yeah, it's more, even at 15 years of like 20, like what is it, 20 episode seasons?
Yeah, something like that.
Hour-long episodes or half-hour long?
Hour-long, yeah.
Yeah, there's one campaign of Critical Role is more than that, and there's 2 full campaigns and one just started campaign. There is an upcoming
Animated
a
show.
gateway intro into it that you could start with.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
watch the animated show for sure.
Yeah, the animated show is coming up at the end of the month here. I think the premieres on the 28th. Critical Role: The Legend of Vox Machina is the name
Mhm.
of it. It's on Amazon Prime, and that's going to be the prequel story to their campaign one, because campaign one actually starts off. It actually picks up like a year or two into their home game. They actually had a home game going before Critical Role became a live show. Um, and it picks up about a year or more into their home game, and then so this is going to tell the story of before the live show started, and then like the first sort of arc of the live show.
Gotcha. All right. I'll check that out. Is there a release date for that?
I think it's the 28th.
Oh, this month?
Yes.
Oh, cool. All
Yeah,
right.
so next Friday.
Cool. Yeah, things
Not-
coming.
Not this coming Friday, next Friday.
Cool. Yeah, I've been still slamming through Horizon Zero Dawn. Getting close-ish to the end, although there's still, I'm sure, like 1,000 side quests that I haven't uncovered.
1,000 side quests, you got DLC, and then
Yeah, I'm working on the
Forbidden.
whole DLC section right now, the Into the Frozen Wilds, which I'm almost done with that. That's a lot of fun. And now I'm like almost maxed out on my my character level. I'm like almost hit level 50, so finishing the main quest is going to be a breeze. But I've been playing that.
Not too much wait to if you want to just hold on and play Forbidden West when it comes out, because that comes out in exactly a month. Now.
Yes.
There goes my life. Well,
Yeah.
already.
As if you have a life
I know,
now,
right?
as you sit here playing Animal Crossing. Oh God. Yeah, so we're doing that. We've been, well, also Book of Boba Fett. We should definitely talk about that last episode.
Definitely.
Danny Trejo is now in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
Is fantastic.
Not only Danny Trejo, but we also got Milton too.
Milton. Oh yeah, Stephen Root. That was great.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the memes are great already, where it shows Boba Fett, I think, asking him about something. Or no, it's
Stephen Root.
yeah,
coming to him.
Who's the assassin that's with him?
Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah, she's like leaning over to talk to him, and she's asking he wants his stapler. And
Oh yeah,
hands back to him.
He says they stole his stapler.
Oh, yeah.
and it's Stephen Root as Milton. Yeah. Oh, it's just fucking great.
Eminem burn the palace down.
That's all right. Yeah, that's which, by the way. Oh, okay. I have some other related news, but I'm gonna curtail that for a second because we got to talk Book of Boba Fett. Danny Trejo, Rancor trainer, and first off, I love this. This is expanding a couple things that I love about Book of Boba Fett so far. Like the main plot honestly hasn't grabbed me a whole lot yet. Like Fett trying to like be the local crime lord or run the place, or I don't know. I'm enjoying the backstory more with his time with the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People, and everything, and how it really expands on them as opposed to being just like mindless beasts of the desert and everything. They're I saw some article online that was kind of talking about how it's almost like the equivalent of telling better stories about indigenous peoples, kind of, which is pretty rad. But also Danny Trejo comes in as the Rancor trainer, and they're talking, and he's talking to Fett about like the history of Rancors and everything, and they've basically made them the pit bulls of the Star Wars universe. Like he's actually, as opposed to the only time we've seen one in live action before is Return of the Jedi, and is just like some crazy beast that Luke had to kill because it was trying to eat him. now they're expanding on that and saying like, oh yeah, they're actually very docile and loyal and friendly and loving. They just have this unfortunate history of being bred for fighting and everything. So they are the pit bull. They are space pit bulls, is what they are.
Pretty much. That's been sort of that's been sort of the known thing in the expanded universe for a while. Like the canon was that Jabba had underfed and chronically, like the only food that he would get would be people that he would drop down through the chute there.
Yeah.
So that was the only time that the Rancor would eat. And so, yeah, it's cool that a lot of that the average fan is getting to know this rather than just like super nerdy. I've read every single fucking books and the annotations and the like compendium books too.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. And Danny Trejo, if you're familiar with Danny Trejo and his good doings in real life, it's very fitting of him to be being like the guy who comes in and who is defending
Isn't he like
the
an
animals.
animal activist in real life? Like
yes.
Yeah.
like supports like shelters and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All kinds of
Yeah, and he's got the vegan taco shop
vegetarian
too.
causes. Yeah. Trejo's Tacos. Yeah. Yeah, so that's awesome. I saw a funny article. Ming Na Wen was being interviewed recently about the show. She and Tamara Morrison. She actually credited not just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but her intense training on Street Fighter, the movie, which laid the groundwork for her to do what she does now. She's, I didn't realize she's 58. She's 58 years old now.
Yeah.
And she's still
in amazing shape.
Yeah. And she
looks like she's like 40.
Yeah. But she was talking about that in an interview and saying how she when she was younger and first Street Fighter was her first like action role, and as silly as that movie was, they actually did put her through some intense working out and fighting training and everything, to the point where she was like, oh god, this sucks, like I'm never going to do this again. But now here she is at 58 doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where she was constantly kicking ass. Now in Book of Boba Fett. So yeah, that was pretty rad. What did you think about the hipster Vespa gang?
Oh my god. Ridiculous. That was where it turned into like a child's movie.
That was definitely Robert Rodriguez, who has definitely directed a number of child's movies.
Yeah, he's he does it all. He does amazing. He did fucking Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, all kinds of crazy awesome shit. And he also did, Spy Kids. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Was it Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Boy and Lava Girl, yeah.
Yeah, he wants to bring in the fun for the whole family, but he also still has the edge to him, and sometimes he just kind of skews in one direction and another. So.
Yeah. I told Tony while we were watching the episode, I was like, this turned into Back to the Future Chase.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The mayor's little assistant guy needed to crash into bantha manure. That would have been perfect.
Sorry. Go on, Todd. You were saying.
So I initially gave them a pass because it is ingrained in Tatooine culture, the speeder bike, swoop bike gang type thing. Like we know this from Shadows of the Empire. We know this from other like expanded universe novels that the speeder bike gang is definitely a thing. However, fucking 50s Italian Vespa looking speeder bikes with like super bright fucking colors. That was stretching it quite a bit for me.
I mean, it's kind of like, and I mean, of course, George Lucas originally was very much a fan of, he did American Graffiti, the old 50s hot rodders and everything, teenage college I think he was kids trying to be all cool.
I think he was trying to pay homage to that, specifically to that, but it just didn't work on Tatooine because these are like poor gang member kids,
right? That they were harping on like how downtrodden they were and how this guy's not giving us our fair share and blah blah blah. But you've got these souped up, like polished Brightly colored speeder bikes.
And they
I
all
mean,
had like their own different color.
if the bikes were like sort of rusted on parts of it and the colors were muted, but there was still the bits of bright, like a piece here, a piece there that were like a bright blue, I could see it. Then that would have been perfect sense. But to have these like slow ass looking Vespas that are like perfectly polished amongst the absolute dirt that is Mos Espa,
And they
that
all
just
they all looked identical as well. Like they all should have had different styles to them or looked different.
they kind of had different ish styles, but they had the same overarching theme of that 50s like retro look.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think it's if you take away the colors being so jarring, and I've actually seen a couple of fan edits of that scene where the chase is sort of sped up and it makes it look like it's not a slow fucking speed chase. Then it would be okay. But I mean, that's my main gripe so far. And if that's all that I can really gripe about, I'm not too.
Yeah, we're definitely in the weeds with like picking apart geek minutia here, but I think we all agree that it kind of stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And again, maybe clearly he made a choice to just kind of pay homage to that sort of like, greaser gang, whatever, but to fit in the rest of the world that has been set up of Star Wars, and specifically like Tatooine,
literally you could have done that on literally any other world and it would have fit in perfectly fine. But on Tatooine, it just stands out like a fucking sore thumb.
Yeah, just have them on beat up bikes, like they've had to scrap together because they are scrounging for whatever they can,
like old pod racers or something.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, geek minutia. Let's see, was there anything else in that episode? I forget.
We had the fight with the fucking giant ass Wookiee.
Oh yeah, that was rad.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be back.
Oh, he's definitely going to be back. I'm surprised. I was totally expecting him, instead of just shooing him off into the desert, just being like, "Hey, you want a job?"
I thought that's where it was going too, but I think he'll come back around and like offer his services to Fett.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he kind of owes Fett a life debt now because like he could have killed him.
That is true. Yeah. Now, the Bacta tank. I'm wondering, he's spending a lot of time in there. Is there something that they're going to reveal at some point? Like he is permanently injured in some way? Because he seems to be like constantly having to recover in that thing. Like he's had a few fights and scrapes, but it seems like that's,
he sleeps in there.
Yeah, that's just where he hangs out.
He did survive being digested by a giant creature that breaks you down by covering you in acid goo, and then immediately was forced to live amongst the sand people for an extended amount of time. And Tatooine is not the healthiest of places for a human body to live in. So I think it's just he needs it because of all the number of injuries he suffered in a short period of time, and it's probably permanently like damaged his body.
Okay. I mean, he seemed to get along for a while with the sand people in the middle of the desert, but I was wondering in the back of my mind, I wonder if at some point they're going to introduce, and I'm not sure in the expanded lore if this is a thing, but maybe with the clones, if at some point they have an early like degradation. Yeah,
it's possible. I don't know if there's anything in the new canon, but in the older canon, all the clones had died out by this point. So like they in the old canon, they were all gone by like A New Hope, Empire time frame. Like they had all been replaced by conscripted soldiers and literally like clones were dead.
Yeah. All right.
I still think episode 2 was amazing though. Did we even talk? I don't think we've talked about episode 2 on the podcast, but episode 2 was so fucking good.
That was that was the bulk of his story with the Sand People, him
Yeah.
earning their respect, stopping the train from the whoever those
Pike.
fishing guys are.
Pike Syndicate.
Okay.
We've seen them before in the Clone Wars. They are involved with the Red Dawn and Maul's people and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like ties in. But that's also why the Hutts no longer wanted to get involved, was now that the Pike Syndicate is involved and has it out for Fett, they don't want any piece of it.
Side note here, did you see the rumors that Katie Sackhoff might be getting her own Bo-Katan show?
Yeah, so what that's coming out of is it's the rubble and remains of the Rangers of New Republic show, because she was tied to play supporting on that.
Yeah.
And then since that fell apart, they're just going to go ahead and instead of giving it to Gina Carano, they're going to give it to her and let her helm the show.
I guess that could work. I mean, I figured though they would be covering her story in season 3 of Mando, because they've got unfinished business with that sword.
Yeah, there's unfinished business there, but that could be resolved in an episode or two. I don't think she's gonna go completely antagonistic to Mando.
No. Either way, yeah, I'm down for more of that.
Oh, did you watch the Eternals yet?
Have not watched the Eternals. No, got to get around to that.
I don't see why it got all the hate that it got. I thought it was a perfectly acceptable movie. Non-spoilery.
Mhm.
I could see where homophobics and sexists might have issues, but other than that,
on Eternals.
Oh.
other than that, it seemed like a perfectly fine movie. And there are some good action scenes, and there's one post-credit scene that I will squee about later once you've watched it.
Okay. All right, I have to watch that. Maybe we'll watch that this weekend. The way fucking COVID's going right now, I think we might have to wait for streaming on Spider-Man.
Aw.
Like I want to see it so bad, but I just
find an empty theater near you. Like I literally went and there was just me and one other couple of ladies, and they were like 30 feet away from me.
We'll see. But so far we're leaning to waiting at home, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of exploding right now with everybody catching it. So
it's fucking serious. Yeah. There it was actually tying into this conversation. There was a new Saturday Night Live last night, and I forget the name of the new guy who's doing his impersonation of Biden, but they opened with a press conference with Biden basically telling everybody, in order to stop COVID, stop seeing Spider-Man. Stop going to see Spider-Man. He's like, everybody in America has seen Spider-Man like 8 times now, and then boom, more COVID. So everybody stop seeing Spider-Man. But he's not, it's a joke, but he's not really quite off, because I saw the box office now. It's topped 1.6 billion worldwide.
Yeah.
And has now become the biggest movie ever in Mexico.
Because of the cameo of Mexican Spider-Man. Didn't you know?
Oh, I didn't know that. Spoilers, Todd. Does he just have a big hat on top of the suit?
Yeah.
Okay.
El Spider-Mans.
Scream, the new Scream also came out, and had a pretty good weekend.
Watch that. I so want to go watch that.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
You say you really want to, but you're not going to.
Yeah, because of COVID.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I can wait for it. I'm not like itching to go see it. I need to rewatch the old ones. I've seen the first 2 a zillion times. I love those. The third one I saw once in the theaters. I remember nothing about it, and I never even saw the fourth. I mean, they got the original cast in there. I still love the first 2, so I'm down. I'll check it out. eventually. But we're still rewatching, for better or worse, we're still rewatching the Matrix movies so we can watch the new one.
I've heard the resounding reviews for the fourth one is why.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've seen maybe one friend who like loved it and blew their mind and whatever, but everybody else kind of like meh.
Did we really need this?
Yeah. Well, as we're going back watching the other ones, like we didn't need anything more than movie one, really.
Yeah, true. No,
the first one still holds up. Still is great.
The first one and Animatrix holds up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't
The
even know if
second
I still
one-
have that DVD. I had the Animatrix, but
I did too. I don't know where it went. The second one had bits and parts that I still love to this day and would defend
Yeah.
bits and parts of it.
the freeway entire sequence is great.
Freeway and the Chateau fight. I think the Chateau fight is still the best fight in the entirety of the Matrix.
Mhm.
The whole the foyer like intro into the tower fight was pretty fucking good, but in the first film.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think the Chateau fight is still my favorite of the entire series.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I had to look up. We had to read an explainer article afterwards, like just to break down everything that the architect explains to Neo about how there was like 5 or 6. I think there was 5 iterations of like the one and a cycle of the Matrix.
Well, there's
before.
more than that. I think it's been going on for a couple hundred years at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, also in the chateau, that's where they meet the
Merovingian.
Yeah, weird ass name, the weird Frenchman. Another note, the Wachowskis were really fucking horny when they wrote that second movie. Like the whole meeting with the Merovingian, like he introduces himself by showing, hey, look at that hot chick over there eating her little dessert. I sent her a special dessert. He programmed a piece of cheesecake to give her an orgasm
Yeah.
in the middle of their little like club there or whatever. I was like, what the fuck are we watching?
I mean, it's a movie about 90s goths. 90s goths were fucking horny.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm not
like that whole club that they take Neo to in the first like 10 minutes of the flick is a like goth BDSM club.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. They also explain in that conversation with the Merovingian and then earlier with the Oracle, some of the holdovers from the previous iterations of the Matrix. I think they said the second version of the Matrix had like monsters. The machines decided to introduce like vampires and werewolves and shit.
Yeah.
I like, how does that make sense? Why? Like
they're AI trying to figure out what the fuck humans want. And they didn't exactly know. So what do they have easily accessible at their fingertips? They have all of humanity's like media creations, and at times like we were obsessed with fucking monsters. Like a lot of our movies have vampires and zombies and shit. And so they're trying to like, if you remember, they went through a few iterations where at the beginning, like they created this perfect utopia, and then as
paradise,
Smith, paradise, and then as Smith, like our human fucking monkey brains can't accept utopia paradise, and we were like, no, fuck this, and we rebelled and all that good stuff. And then okay, so if paradise doesn't work, what's next? Okay, well, fucking murder them all with monsters constantly. We set them in Transylvania, and we got Vlad the Impaler fucking murdering them.
Yeah, so the Matrix 2.0 is just like the monsters or Scooby-Doo or something. Just a constant Scooby-Doo adventure.
And then finally we the perfect Matrix where the least amount of people are shrugging it off is like the oppressive like late 80s, early 90s corporate like you can have a life, but you're also chained to a desk for 9 to 12 hours a day
Yeah.
in this giant metropolis that seems never ending.
Yeah. I did love the tweet floating around when the new movie came out. I'm like, wait a minute, how does the Matrix even work in today's age? Like, oh, you're gonna force me to be in a fantasy version of 1999? Like, shit, frost my tips and let's go.
Yeah, compared to today's world, it's a fucking paradise where even on a fucking fast food salary job, you can afford a nice 3-bedroom house.
Yeah, no shit. Oh man. Anyway. All right, what else we got? Well, in the world of HBO Max, shit, another thing on my list, Peacemaker has released, and the reviews for that are pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, as expected from John Cena and James Gunn, just being batshit insane. I haven't looked up much on it because I want to completely avoid spoilers, but all the little headlines of reviews I've seen are just absolutely glowing. So I'm excited for that. Another random article, John Cena, he and Allison Brie are actually going to do a little buddy action comedy.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Also, Freelance is the name of it, from Pierre Morel, who did the Taken franchise. Of course, he's an ex-special forces operator who takes a job providing security for a journalist, Alison Brie. Hoping to salvage her career by interviewing a dictator, things go sideways when a military coup breaks out in the middle of the interview. And so they're on the run.
Okay.
But yeah, it's action adventure comedy. Alison Brie, I'm down to see her do action. I was thinking that I mean, she got in super crazy shape for Glow.
Yeah, she lost she was already like a skinny small girl.
Oh yeah,
but
she's
lost.
very tiny, but she is ripped. She got in crazy shape for Glow, for all the wrestling training and everything. And even after that, like I think just like a month or two back, I saw she's occasionally posting her like workouts, like lifting crazy deadlifts and shit. Yeah, I'd like to see her do some kick-ass action. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or John Cena, knowing they're two sizes next to each other. Actually, probably what could happen is that move from Marvel where didn't the Hulk throw Wolverine into battle at some point?
Yes, multiple
was
times.
The Hulk, or was it Juggernaut or somebody? No,
it's Hulk and occasionally Thing.
Okay. You just launch Wolverine at enemies. So John Cena could just launch Alison Brie. Whatever the name is for that maneuver. I want to see that happen.
Speedball, I think it's called.
That one also reminds me of there was another like adventure movie trailer that we saw a little while ago with Sandra Bullock, The Lost City. That's another movie coming out this year. Sandra Bullock I think she's like an adventure romance novelist or something. And
that looks hilarious.
Yeah, Channing Tatum is like the cover model for the books. So he's like what Fabio was in the 90s of all his romance novels he posed for. So he's just like some idiot model dude. And somehow they end up on some insane adventure. Daniel Radcliffe is like
her agent or something.
Or he's like some crazy billionaire, I think, who gets her wrapped up in some insane like jungle adventure or something.
So basically, she writes these adventure romance novels, and Daniel Radcliffe's character is convinced that these long lost cities that she writes of are actually real,
right? And
wants her to like try and help him discover them,
right?
The only thing that I've seen about this film is like a teaser of a teaser that's just them three standing next to each other talking for a moment, and it just puts in perspective how tiny the Daniel Radcliffe is and how large Channing Tatum is, because he is a giant, and even Sandra Bullock is taller than Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, you really need to watch the full trailer. It's Amazing.
Yeah, it really won me over. It looks, it's big dumb fun with a lot of people that I enjoy. I think even wasn't Brad Pitt at some point in there?
Yes.
He's like he comes in as like, because like Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum's like trying to come to her rescue, and he's like a dumbass. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And then Brad Pitt is in there as like the true outdoorsman survivalist guy showing him up.
Man, I'm remembering bits of the trailer and like fucking Todd, you gotta watch this like right now. It's so good.
The Lost City. So that looked fun.
You're gonna laugh your ass off.
It's on the list. It's
there you
films
go.
to see.
Let's see what else we've got, and more TV news. I'm probably the only one in the universe who still watches these because I'm ride or die at this point, I guess. But the Arrowverse shows have kicked back off, picking up where their seasons left off, and actually Superman and Lois just kicked off their season too. But there is big news. Another new series they're gonna have a go at David Ramsey, who is Diggle from Arrow. And they've been hinting at him for a while that in the Arrow finale, if you remember, like they don't explicitly show it, but they basically hinted heavily that he finds a Green Lantern ring. And since then, I don't know if you've kept up with the shows at all, but he's been making little guest appearances on the individual shows on Batwoman and stuff. And they've been hinting that he's like on that journey to maybe seek out the Green Lantern powers or whatever, but they haven't explicitly said it yet. And I was wondering, okay, are they gearing this up to tie in with that other Green Lantern show that's going to be on HBO or something? I don't know. But now news came out that he's going to headline his own show at CW called Justice U. And he is basically putting together a gang of young metas to go undercover at like a school or university or something.
Okay.
I've always liked that character, and I've always been curious if they would ever pick up on him again. So
I'm just done with the CW universe. Like, I'll watch the final season of Supergirl once the final episodes are out, and I'll watch. Now that the first season, I think the first season is all completely out on HBO Max, Superman and Lois. I might pick that up.
Yeah,
because everybody says that
try.
one's the best of it.
Yeah,
but I think I'm done with it. I can't take another episode of Flash.
Yeah, Flash.
I don't have it
in now. I'm just waiting for that to end. I can't. My completionist brain cannot let it go because I'm in this deep. I just have to see it through the end. I just got to know how the hell they decide to end it. But I mean, I'd probably mention this every time we talk about this, but Legends of Tomorrow is still fantastic because it's just its own wacky thing now. They just lean into the insanity. And Superman and Lois, definitely, I highly recommend give that a try because that's just a solid, good show. What cracked me up the other day, I was talking to David, our old friend David Harding, and he was, of course, Superman is his end all be all.
Literally all he does is on Instagram just post photos of Superman. That's all he does.
We were chatting and catching up, didn't talk to him in a while, and just about a month or two ago, he started watching Lois and Clark for the first time. He is just, our young David has just discovered Lois and Clark, and he is head over heels for it. He is over the moon. Like he said, like, this is his new favorite live action Superman, like period. Mm-hmm. I was like, holy shit, really? I mean, I loved it as a kid. I haven't watched it since I was a kid, but he just,
I don't know if it would hold up now though.
Apparently, I mean, according to the Superman experts, David saying, just, I think specifically he was harping on like the tone of the show is most like the books.
Yeah, because that version of Superman was very much goody two shoes, like saccharinely sweet, like
that
good
90s
guy.
cheese.
Yeah,
it worked. It's a fun show. I could revisit that one, see if it holds up. I don't remember the actor's name, but the other coach, the adversarial coach from the Mighty Ducks, he was Perry White, and he was a great Perry White.
The old generic asshole white dude from the 80s.
Uh-huh. Well, he wasn't an asshole. He was just like, he was the hard riding, like
He was a douchebag.
news reporter boss. Yeah, but yeah, I know. I liked him. He had a bit of a charm to him. He was a hard ass, but also endearing, I think. It reminded me of another show that I didn't even know about, but when Meg and I started dating, she introduced me to First Edition or Early Edition.
Early edition.
Early Edition. I think that was mid to late 90s. And it was some very similarly saccharine 90s show where this guy gets his morning paper dropped at his apartment door, but it's like tomorrow's paper.
Yeah, tomorrow's paper. So what he tries to do is he sees all the bad things that are going to happen and he aims to fix them before they happen.
Yeah. So like a bus crash or something happens and he's got tomorrow's paper. And that's the mystery. Like who's dropping off this magical paper for tomorrow? And so he has
Spoiler
to.
alert, he never finds out.
Oh.
I think.
I don't know. I think I downloaded that was our early dating years, and I was like,
Or we had to like burn them onto CDs.
Yeah, I was torrenting old shows, old series to find and trying to dig them up, and I think we watched like an episode or two, and then just forgot about it. Yeah, I'll tell you a show that I'm excited about, Todd.
What's that?
Fallout. Fallout. The TV series is officially actually fucking happening at Amazon. Furthermore, this is moving forward with Jonathan Nolan directing and show running. Jonathan Nolan, brother of Chris Nolan of Dark Knight fame and a bunch of other movies that you have to read explainers to make sense of.
Not only that, but we have the writers of Westworld are involved.
So I'm excited because it's Fallout. I'm also afraid that it's going to be told completely from the broken view of a like half busted android or robot or something, or a Nuka-Cola bot.
It'll be a fucking Enclave iBot, but we won't know until the series finale when it pans out from the fucking iBot.
Yeah, so we're going to have the unreliable narrator and the whole show is going to be completely incomprehensible. You have to look up explainers to make sense of the entire season because you'll flash back and forth between different realities and perspectives and 20 years in the past. And of course, they're not going to tell you. Or it could be great. I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm excited to see anything live action Fallout, really.
Just more Fallout content in general. Like 76 was a bit of a disappointment, but it has since grown into a complete game. One I would wish was offline rather than forced permanently online, but it's still fun-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But like we know Bethesda's schedule, and because they're so jam-packed, the next like potential Fallout game, unless they pawn it off to another Microsoft studio, which they now can, is probably not coming for at least 10 years.
Jeez.
Because we have Starfield, which does not release until the end of this year. And then there'll be expansions and DLC and focus on that for at least a year or two. And Elder Scrolls 6, which is like in the basic early development at this point, since they've been all focused on Starfield for the last 10 years now. I think they said it's been in development, active development for between 5 and 7 years.
Yeah.
So Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to be expected for at least another 3 to 4 years after Starfield releases, which means the earliest we would get a new Fallout, a Fallout 5, is provided another studio is not involved. We're talking 6 to 10 years down the line.
Jeez.
Yeah. So any Fallout content is okay in my book.
Yeah, for sure. Just give me Fallout 3. Just give me that storyline, just straight up, with New Vegas as a spinoff show.
Agreed.
Yep.
I'm down.
I'm totally fine with that. Like, yeah, we've seen the story already, but I want to see that in live action. Throw
Liam Neeson
money
will come back.
throw money at John Cena and Jason Momoa to mocap as super mutants.
Yeah.
And throw in for New Vegas, was it Caesar's Legion is the crazy like war tribe or whatever. Give me Taika as the leader, as Caesar.
Who do we get as Mr. Hand? Mr. House.
He's the leader of Vegas, right? He
Yeah.
might be the secret evil genius behind the show. I don't know. I forget, it's been so long. He's like you don't really see him.
You just get him through the television in a sort of 50s version of the bartender in Back to the Future, where he goes to the future.
All right, yeah, it's just that TV tube robot. Yeah, because in reality, he's like just like hooked up to machines. Like he's just like ancient, like a Mr. Burns or something.
Yeah, he's pre bombs falling.
Yeah.
He's being kept alive by machines. Essentially, it's just a brain in the machine.
Okay. So you could just have a synthesized version of him through the bots and everything. It could be like a Max Headroom sort of situation.
Yeah, Max Headroom. That's what I was trying to come up with.
Hell, get him. He's still kicking around. Matt Frewer.
Yeah, he played it in Back to the Future. That was the waiter.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Cafe 80s. Oh, geez. Okay. In more Amazon series news, The Boys season 3. We finally got a release date. That's the good news. Bad news is not till freaking June 3rd for The Boys season 3. They released a quick little teaser trailer with just really all it is just like zooming in on Homelander's creepy homicidal sex offender face, just like waiting for him to snap and like heat vision everybody who's like snapping photos of him. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. There's Todd, your precious baby, Moon Knight is getting a trailer tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, we're recording today, Sunday the 16th, so Monday the 17th. If you're listening to this in the future, then you may have already seen the Moon Knight trailer.
I think it's already leaked, so a number of people have already seen it. So
okay, it's supposed to premiere on like Monday Night Football.
Yeah. I've seen a screen cap of the suit, and while it's not my favorite, it's acceptable.
Acceptable.
Yeah.
All right. Todd, if I recall, you were a fan of Justified, were you not?
It was. I have not watched it. It's on my list. It's one of those that are forever like near the top of my list, but it just keeps getting pushed down because something new pops up. And
okay.
Yeah.
I forget who used to just rave about Justified to me all the time, saying I had to watch it. But I mean, Timothy Olyphant, always great. But they announced a little return.
Yeah, isn't it Timothy Olyphant and Walter Goggins?
Walter Goggins, yeah. So
I love Walter Goggins from The Shield. So like, I'll watch pretty much anything he's in. It's on the list.
Yeah, he's always rad. But they announced a little return for Timothy Olyphant, limited series, Justified, Primeval, which is, I guess, the books that they're originally based off of Elmore Leonard's crime novels. So there was a later one called Primeval, High Noon in Detroit. And so they're going to do a limited series, bringing back Tim Oliphant's U.S. Marshal character and everything. But yeah, like you, that's one that's been on my list forever. I mean, I love him and anything he does, and I've always heard good things about that show. Just haven't gotten around to it yet.
And I love Westerns. It's just I haven't watched any in forever. I need to go back and watch that, and I need to watch Deadwood. And yeah.
I can't remember now. Did they finally make the Deadwood movie?
Yeah, I think that came out a couple of years ago.
Okay. because that's the reason I never watched it, is because everybody's like, oh, it's amazing, it's great, but you're gonna hate it at the end because it ends on a massive cliffhanger. It's like, well, why the fuck do I want to punish myself with that?
It's like going back and watching the Sopranos and not knowing if he bites it at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's one I didn't expect. Scott Pilgrim. We got the original books, we got the movie, and now a Scott Pilgrim anime series is in the works at Netflix.
Now, are they just retreading same ground, or is it new ground?
I don't know. It's possible maybe they'll retell just, how it is in the books.
So they're going to do like a Cowboy Bebop where they adapt some of it and then come up with some new parts.
And they'll adapt the first book and then immediately cancel it. Son of that still fucking burns. There's a petition out there. I mean, it's not going to do shit, of course, but like over 100,000 people signing, like begging for a season 2.
There was also a petition out there with, like, last time I heard, it was like 50 to 70,000 people saying, please keep it canceled.
Oh, fuck you guys. But yeah. So I guess they're working on a Scott Pilgrim in an animated form now. That'd be cool to see if they put it in the same style as the books. They're very, they were stylized. I mean, Brian Lee O'Malley, he's Canadian, but he stylized them as mangas. So it's in that format, looks very manga-ish.
So it's manga, but their heads just like pop off every time they have to talk.
Yes. Manga Terrence and Phillip. Yes. Not your buddy guy. Yeah. And another one that now this is the bigger news that has me tentatively excited. I did not see this coming at all. Mike Judge released a little teaser online on Twitter for a brand new Beavis and Butthead movie, and potentially more to come on Paramount Plus. And he revealed little sketches of middle-aged Beavis and Butthead. Oh my god! And I think it's pretty damn perfect.
Please tell me it's them just still rail thin, but then they have this giant like beer belly.
Well, you get a mix of both. Beavis is still, he looks the same with like just a little bit of elder man pudge, but he's really just like scrawny, wrinkly, missing teeth, glasses.
So he's been down the meth route.
Yeah, he's been down the meth route, and Butthead is just full of processed carbs.
So he's me, what you're saying.
But they look exactly how they should look at this day and age. And I'm kind of excited to see that. I'm excited to see them go this route.
A movie or a show?
Well, according to the tweet from Mike Judge, said Beavis and Butthead will be returning this year with a brand new movie and more on Paramount Plus. No exact date yet, but soon.
Because they tried bringing the show back, and I actually really enjoyed the new version of it with the internet and all, as opposed to them just watching music videos. But it, I guess, didn't do well because it's clearly not on.
Yeah, they did a
reality TV.
I think it got one season on MTV.
Yeah, they did a brief season on MTV in 2011.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was the same thing. It was like, as opposed to just music videos, it was like watching dumb internet videos. But it was exactly them as they were, like they just transplanted from 1993 into 2011. But now it's like the progression of they are actually aged and middle-aged and still idiots. So
just fucking give us our King of the Hill like continuation, goddammit.
Well, I thought that was being worked on too.
That's been in the works for like 5 or 6 years now. He's been trying to get that off the ground. Like I think it's closer to becoming a reality now, but like I haven't heard anything in about a year or two. So
Well, hopefully, maybe this kicks off and that adds more fuel to that fire. Like, oh, Mike Judge is a hot commodity again. Let's bring back King of the Hill. Let's light a fire under that. We'd see. But yeah, that would.
Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. And last but not least, because everything old is new again, over in the world of Disney Plus, The Santa Claus with Tim Allen is getting a little sequel limited series, continuing the story of the.
If nothing else, those films weren't the worst Christmas movies.
I've actually only ever seen the first one.
I think I've seen, there's what, 3 or 4 of them?
There's 3, I believe.
I've seen the first 2.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers for for 2 and 3. 2 is where he has to find a Mrs. Claus, I believe.
Yeah.
And then in the third one, he is battling against Martin Short as Jack Frost.
Oh, thank God I've never seen that.
Yeah, I just vaguely remember the previews of it. I've only seen the first one, and I saw that a million times as a kid. But
I mean,
so
despite his problematic personality, that first Santa Claus movie, like, that was a good role for him.
Yeah, for sure. So in this one, in the new, it is a continuation. So he is now I'll just read the thing here. In the series, Scott Calvin is on the brink of his 65th birthday and realizing that he can't be Santa forever, starting to lose a step in his Santa duties. And more importantly, he's got a family who could benefit from a life in the normal world, especially his 2 kids who have grown up at the pole with a lot of
the pole.
The pole. With
Sounds like a strip club.
I mean, that's where his daughter is going to end up.
Oh, that'd be rad. A gritty continuation, a reboot of the Santa Claus. The kids are grown up all messed up because my fucking dad's Santa and nobody believes them. Oh my God. That was another SNL bit they did last night, because have you seen or heard about that gritty reboot of the Fresh Prince?
No.
Oh God.
Yeah. So that's really a thing on Peacock, on the streaming on Peacock. Yeah, Will Smith is like executive producing it or something, but it's like a down to earth, gritty reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So kids like learn how to grow up in the streets, and now he goes to Bel-Air and blah blah blah. So they made
instead
fun
of
of it
being wholesome, it's he takes his brand of Philadelphia violence to Bel-Air.
Yeah, some shit like that. I don't know.
Jesus.
I mean, I could be, misjudging. Maybe it's going to be great. Who cares? But they made fun of that on SNL last night with the gritty Family Matters reboot. So it's fucking Urkel beating the shit out of some other kid in an alley, pulling a gun on him. He's like, "Did I do that?"
Jaleel White is kind of fucking ripped right now. He could pull it off.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the Santa Claus at Disney Plus, that's happening this year. So yeah, I guess now he has to look to find the replacement Santa so he can, hand off the title. It doesn't give any sort of release date or anything. I think it's just been greenlit. So
it's a Christmas movie. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer for the Batmans? I think it was titled The Bat and the Cat, The Bat and the Cat.
This is a Dr. Seuss one? What are you talking about?
No, the Batman trailer.
Oh, the Batman with Pattinson.
Yes.
No, I have not watched it yet. But yeah, I heard that came out a few weeks ago, I think. And
yeah, I think we brought it up last podcast, but you still hadn't seen it yet. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But there was people were making a big deal about it because they're really leaning into Catwoman, Selena Kyle's like origin story.
Yeah. It's very much a Selena and Batman movie. It's not just Pattinson's Batman. But in somewhat relation to that, we've also gotten our first image of Batgirl, the new Batgirl.
Oh, really?
Have you seen this yet?
I will look that up right now.
I'll send you the link right now.
Leslie Grace. First
Yes.
look at her Batgirl costume for upcoming HBO Max. Oh, that is very bright and shiny.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's cool. I mean, it's very, very comic booky, but that's cool.
It pays tribute to the original like almost 70 was it 77 or 76 Batman costume. Like the color and the shape of the bat symbol is
Mhm.
very similar to like the original Batgirl costume,
That's cool.
especially with the cape. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
The modern take on a classic costume.
Cool. J.K. Simmons is so is J.K. Simmons Commissioner Gordon again?
I think so.
That's cool. Oh, right. Brendan Fraser, I believe, is some bad guy in it. And of course, Keaton is back,
Yes.
which I mean, I'm excited enough for that. Sign me up. Cool. It seems like there's still, I don't know. I'm always wondering what DC has in mind. Or do they have a set plan for this whole universe at this point? Or it seems like they're mainly focusing on the whole world of Batman.
I don't even know if it's the same universe at this point. Like what is going on?
I guess we'll find out after the Flash movie. Although, what's his name? Who plays the Flash? He shot down those rumors about it completely rebooting the whole Snyderverse, like rebooting the Snyderverse out of existence. He said, no, that's absolutely not true.
Yeah, but they also denied that there was going to be 3 Spider-Mans in the Spider-Man movie until like day of.
It's true. Wait, what? Spoilers, Todd. Jesus. All right. That's cool. Is there a date on that Batgirl movie or no?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a date yet. Because I think it's still filming.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of things that are filming and wrapped filming, the Game of Thrones prequel series has wrapped filming on its first season.
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon.
Cool. I'll still check it out.
I mean, I'll watch it, of course.
Yeah. I'm more excited to start Wheel of Time. It's another one on our never-ending list. But yeah, we'll get around to it. I think that's all I got for news, Todd.
Yeah, I don't have much. It's been a slow like month for gaming stuff. Awesome Games Done Quick was held this past week or two. They raised $3.5 million for charity.
Nice.
So
this is I'm not familiar with this event.
So it's speedrunners. So they take old games and some modern games and they exploit glitches and they do all kinds of crazy shit and they speedrun games to see how fast you can get through things.
The guys who beat like Ocarina in 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly that kind of stuff. Like people that go for world records and stuff like that. I mean, I don't generally like the organization because they're kind of tools, but I mean, they do raise money for charity and it's a gaming related event. So $3.5 million is nothing to shake a stick at. So it's awesome.
That's good. I did see a little bit of news. Well, I think the game just released. Final Space, that awesome epic cartoon space opera that I kept telling you, raving about. I had to watch, and then it got canceled, and I was completely devastated. They came out with a game. I guess some other company, while the show was still in production, there was a company working on Final Space: The Rescue. I'm not sure how much, if at all, like it ties into the story of the show, or if it's just like a little side thing. But I got all excited for that, and then I see it's a VR game. Like, God damn it! I'm not gonna spend $200 on or $300 on an Oculus just to play one game.
See, if if fucking Oculus hadn't sold to Facebook and it wouldn't be a Facebook like property, I'd have bought an Oculus by now. But like, I really do want a VR setup, but I have no interest in tying my VR account to fucking Facebook.
Giving Zuckerberg any of your time.
Yeah, it's already bad enough we spend as much time as we do on Facebook and Instagram, but I have no interest in furthering that fucking relationship. It's already weird when I see fucking ads for a bed when I searched for it on my work PC and suddenly it's showing up on my phone and my home PC. Yeah, no thank you, fucking Zuckerberg.
Always watching, always listening.
Yes.
There was one cool little indie one I saw an announcement for. Meg, I thought you might actually be interested in it.
Bear and breakfast.
Yeah, Bear and Breakfast. A little indie title, highly
Berenstein
recommended.
Bears go for breakfast.
Apparently, highly recommended for fans of Animal Crossing and Stardew and little like chill, like management type games. So the story, I'll just read it here. Build and run a bed and breakfast, but you're a bear. Bear and Breakfast is a laid-back management adventure game where you play as a well-meaning bear trying to run a B&B in the woods. Hank and his friends find an abandoned shack and, equipped with their teenage ingenuity, turn it into a money-making bed and breakfast scheme for unsuspecting tourists. As your business expands, so do the mysteries of the forest, and Hank soon finds himself uncovering a plot deeper than the wilderness itself.
I like it.
Yeah, looks fun. The little indie title just announced. It's supposed to come out sometime later this year. And looks like it's going to be available on the Switch. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know what other systems.
Oh, I like the artwork for it.
Yeah, it looks cute.
I like that genre is like some coming forward. It's like the casual RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's no huge high stakes and there's a bit of like light grinding and kind of stuff like that, but it's just good fun.
It's because reality is stressful enough, and we don't need another action shoot 'em up bloody adventure or anything. We need like peace, tranquility, low stakes.
Low stakes. For
We
sure.
need like
Low
the
pressure.
yeah the like Home and Garden Network. We need like HGTV.
The video game equivalent of HGT.
Yeah, I just want to chill out and see people pick out their decorations. Then again, I guess even that can be stressful because you're like, fuck, I'll never own that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never come close to owning that.
I'll never have my 1/4 acre backyard with a Death Star fire pit and a smoker and a giant barrel barbecue.
We have a pretty decent fire pit that's
Still in the box.
still in the box since our wedding, in the closet, because we're waiting for one magical day when we have a yard. Them's the breaks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining once again. This is Tony.
This Todd.
And Meg.
We need new sign off. We need something fresh.
Go fuck yourself, Cleveland.
What?
I don't know why I said Cleveland, but whatever.
I thought you
Okay.
said Whedon.
Well, that too. That works too. Go
Okay.
fuck yourself, Whedon.
Okay. Later, guys.